And just what President Obama and Jonathan Gruber didn't need, another video just surfaced. Yes, another video of Jonathan Gruber, the Obamacare architect who repeatedly called Americans stupid. And in this video from January 2012, here goes Gruber again.
If you're a state and you don't set up an exchange, that means your citizens don't get their tax credits. But your citizens still pay the taxes that support this bill. So you're essentially saying your citizens, you're going to pay all the taxes to help all the other states in the country.
And our political panel is back. Bob, he just keeps doing it, doesn't he?
He does, and I just don't understand the strategy of Democrats saying that really downplaying his role in Obamacare. He had a big role. He was at the White House many times, and I think this testimony is going to be interesting because Republicans are going to harp on that. Democrats have thrown Gruber under the bus, and what they're going to do is really get to the bottom of what his relationship with President Obama was. Nancy Pelosi, who also cited his work and then said that she didn't know who he was. This story just keeps going, and this hearing next week is going to be entertaining.
You know, AB, I don't know if any of this Gruber drama, these video, gets into the record for the case that's in the United States Supreme Court, because that record may be pretty much sealed, and I don't know how they get it in, but the Supreme Court justice probably hear about this. But he's devastating to the Obamacare side of that dispute if it were in the record.
That's right. I mean, when you have this architect who we know the administration paid $400,000 to, so he was not just somebody that was consulted once very quickly over a meeting. If you have someone saying that was so involved in setting up the structure in something that would be a national version of Romneycare, which was the Massachusetts plan, that the whole thing is designed to incentivize states to set up their own exchanges. Otherwise, there will be no subsidies for the newly insured. That means that was an integral part of how it would function. We're led to believe, of course, that there was going to be an exchange in every state, and of course the Obama administration had to invent this along the way and come up with federal exchanges in states that refuse to set up their own. So if you're looking at the Supreme Court that threatens to dismantle this entire program, if this Gruber discussion is taken in as evidence against the Obama administration, the Obamacare side, it is devastating for its survival.
On a purely legal basis, it shouldn't get in because the record is now sealed for the court to consider. I mean, but we're all listening to it. We're all hearing this. I mean, so I don't know if, I don't know how it's going to play out, but the record is sealed in the Supreme Court, and they're going to decide this. Tom, I want you to hear what former HHS Secretary Sebelius just said about Jonathan Gruber. Let's listen.
I did not. I know our staff did, and I think he met with various advisors, but I did not meet with Jonathan Gruber.
Ever? You never met him?
Well, he maybe was in a large room. He could have been on a phone call, but in terms of small meetings discussing policy, that never happened. You know,
Tom, that's stunning. I actually looked at the filings in the Supreme Court, and even Gruber's name appears in the filings, but for the Secretary Sebelius, it's Jonathan who?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? As someone who went to law school myself, that's blood in the water. That kind of qualification that he may have been in a large room is, suggestive, I think, of the administration. But it plays to this broader angle that they're trying to distance themselves from him, that they're playing him down, even though not only his federal consulting fees, but also his state consulting fees for the healthcare law represent that he played a bigger role than perhaps he's being made out to play. And again, I think the administration's difficulty is that, the more they run away from him, the more incentive that provides Republicans to pick out forensic pieces of information. More will probably come out, more speeches will probably come out. And at the political level, it degrades the president's credibility on the law, which, with Republicans taking control of Congress, is still going to be a controversial issue and will become even more controversial because of this strategy.
Bob, we only have 20 seconds. Is he actually going to show up to testify next week?
Oh, I think he is. And I think it could be Gruber's revenge against Democrats. That's going to be, I think, his revenge against these Democrats.
It's going to be standing room only. I mean, honestly, Bob, I can't imagine he's going to show up, but maybe he will. I don't know. He's going to, after calling everybody stupid. But anyway, maybe we'll have a word for him next week. Anyway, panel, thank you.